Hi folks, welcome back. In the previous video, we have given an explanation about what are these gateway APIs are and how different these gateway APIs are compared to Istio gateways and all. And before that, we have even demonstrated implementing the Istio gateway within a service mesh. So in this set of video, eventually it will be followed by one more video. In the next couple of videos, we will talk about this gateway API, the gateway classes, whatever the enabling the GKE controllers, and then leveraging the gateways, eventually the routes, and then exposing a typical microservice, how we can do that step by step process. So in this particular video, we will try enabling the gateway for a particular Kubernetes cluster, and then preparing the gateway classes. I mean the gateway APIs by using the gateway classes and all. So in the next video, we will be demonstrating how we can leverage the Google Certificate Manager and expose it safely, and the basically a gateway security that we will demonstrate in the next video. So without wasting the time, let's focus on this particular thing. So in this example, just to save the time, I have already created a Kubernetes cluster. I mean, this process is already demonstrated in couple of videos. I don't think anybody has any facing any sort of difficulty in creating a Kubernetes cluster at this time. So if you see here, the only thing which extra I have done compared to all other sessions is one enabling one particular API, which is Gateway API. In my all previous videos, when I was creating a Kubernetes cluster, I used to disable this option. I just enabled it. So for example, if you are creating a new Kubernetes clusters, let's say a standard Kubernetes cluster. So if you go under the security section, oh sorry, not security, in the networking section, so you have something called as enable gateway. That's it. The only extra thing I have done in this session is this. So with the help of that, I have created a Kubernetes cluster. So this is the Kubernetes cluster, and now let's go and access this. So you have something called as and also I have already grabbed the credentials and I have tried to access the cluster as well. So you have a command called the gateway class that is showing you all these different different gateways. So explanation about these gateways and all, which I have already given in my previous video. If you have not watched my previous video about the gateway API introduction, I would encourage people to go back and watch that video and get familiar with the concepts of this and then come back to this particular video. So now without wasting the time, let's take a simple microservice. So this is just Nginx deployment which consisting of three replicas, and then we have a typical service definition for the same. All I'm doing here is I'm exposing this particular microservice for the port 80. That's all. So let's go ahead and create this microservice. So this will create a Nginx deployment with the three replicas. So let's wait for the deployment to finish. Now let's go back and check the pods. Okay, it's creating. Let's wait until the pods get created. Okay, now the pods are running. Now let me go ahead and apply the service. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now it's creating a service. Now check the parts and service. All right. So we have your parts running and then service running, which is of cluster IP type. Okay. At this moment, now what we will do is let's get familiarize ourselves with the definition of gateway. So here is the thing. So I am defining a gateway definition here. My gateway name would be my gateway. I mean, whatever the name you want, you can choose. So here I will be leveraging the external manage. This is used for a external kind of an gateway, the regional global level external gateway where it will create a global load balancer. So this is the one which I'm using. So if you come down, as the name suggests, it would be provisioning the global load balancer. If you're looking for a regional, you can always go back and choose. This is for global internal, this is for regional internal. So now this is the gateway class I'm leveraging, and then I'm in this case I'm not going for a HTTPS traffic because at this moment I don't have any certificate provision and all. So that process of provisioning a certificate and all those things we will be focusing on the next video. So now that is the reason why the listener would be of HTTP type and exposing it to port 80. So let's go ahead and deploy this gateway. All right, let's give a couple of seconds. So there is a shortcut which provided by the Google to check this. So currently, if you see, it's programmed is unknown state because we have to give a specific route and then map this with this. So now let's see a definition for a route. So so this is my route example. So what I have done is I'm defining a HTTP route in this case. So what I'm giving a name is Nginx root, and this would be in my default namespace. So I have already given an explanation about one-to-many, one-to-one mapping of these roots and all in the introduction video. Again, I may repeat, but I would encourage the users to get familiarize themselves with the concepts of this gateway API before using this. Without which it will be very difficult for anyone to understand this. So again, so this is my gateway, I mean the HTTP root name, and then in the namespace. So here I am giving the reference for my gateway, which I have created here, and then the path prefix would be the slash, and it is referencing to my Nginx service, which I have created here. Uh, okay, for the port 80. That's all. So now let's go ahead and deploy this. Oh, sorry. Now let's check the HTTP route. Okay, it's created. If you see currently the host name section is empty because I'm not mapped with any of the host name. So that we will come back to this again in the next session where we will be mapping it with a particular host name and how it looks like and all, we can always go back and see there. So now if you see it is program status from the unknown to true, and then it has created a particular load balancer. This would take approximately 2 to 5 minutes to completely provision and then expose your microservice. So what we will do, we'll wait for that. Yeah. So this would take as I mentioned 2 to 5 minutes. So let's come back once it is completely ready. All right. So let's come back. So now you can see here. Uh, the load balancer it's resolving, and it is giving whatever we expected. So let's go back and check this more. So if we go to load balancing section here, you will see my default gateway application. If you click on this, you will be seeing the details, complete details about this application load balancer. It's basically about the backends, what are all the backends it has created. So if you see here, it has created a two backend which is pointing to particular machines. So you can always go back and see the more details about that backend. That's about the IP address, everything. It's it's giving you the full details. So as here, and if you go to Kubernetes section, inside a Kubernetes section as well, you have a gateway section here. So here as well you can see. If you directly click here, it will take you there. You can go and explore more about this if you click here on my gateway, which would be again giving you the details and what is the route defined. If you click on that particular route, which will again give you the prefix and what service it is pointing and all those things. So that, in this example, if you have watched one thing, I have not enabled any of the service mesh features here. You can always go back and check that. Let's go to clusters, and if you see the details of the clusters here and networking section, service mesh. Service mesh feature is currently disabled. So cloud service mesh is not enabled. So okay, here is the thing. All I wanted to say is it's not mandatory that you need to enable the service mesh to leverage the gateway API features. The gateway features are the open source features which are brought by the Kubernetes community. So you need not to set up a cloud service mesh to leverage the gateway API feature. So don't get confused. The gateway APIs and the Istio gateway both can coexist in a particular cluster, and how we can use both, and how we can make both of them working in a particular GKE cluster and all. I would be demonstrating that in my last video, in the concluding video of the entire cloud service mesh series. So don't worry about that. So for time being, just understand that a gateway API need not to have the service mesh enabled in order to get working. So that's all. So in the next session, we will be creating a particular certificate with a host name and all, and how we can leverage the gateways with a host name, that we will see in the next session. So until then, thank you, friends. Please do subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you in the next session. Thank you.